Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer, and in studio now is 4 Branches Health Solutions. Thanks for being here, Greg.
Thank you, Liz.
Tell me a little bit about the services you provide.
I am a holistic health clinic. My main specialty is acupuncture. I'm licensed as an acupuncturist. So I do acupuncture with almost all patients, and I do a variety of traditional channel-based styles of acupuncture that work with meridians and traditional acupuncture points, as well as more like local orthopedic-style needling, or what they call now dry needling. Mm-hmm. So I'll use both or one or the other, depending on what the patient needs. I also do what I call clinical body work, which is a combination of different techniques of, from manual therapy systems or styles from around the world. Some are more traditional, like Tuina, which is like Chinese massage, Thai massage. Some are more modern, like myofascial trigger point therapy, PNF stretching, things like that. So I'll incorporate different techniques from those systems as it seems appropriate for the patient. And then I also am a certified herbalist, so I've been trained in traditional Chinese herbal medicine. The herbs we use are already, the bulk herbs are actually boiled down with water, and then the liquid is used and mixed with usually like a potato starch and dried into a powder. So the patient just scoops out their dose, mixes it with water, hot water, like making instant coffee and drink. So I'll use that for a variety of conditions, especially internal conditions where, acupuncture is not going to be as quick or effective. So I'll use herbal medicine for that. And then last but not least, I do health coaching, which I think is probably the most transformative service that I can provide. And that's really geared towards helping patients, empowering patients to understand the basics, the fundamentals of self-care, and give them practical, actionable steps that they can take today to start improving their health. And hopefully give them tools so that they don't have to rely on willpower to do that, because that's where a lot of people end up not being successful, is they make big changes initially, and they're kind of relying on their willpower to get it done, and nobody can do that long term because things come up. It's like tensing a muscle, It only goes so far. So I give them ways of maintaining it a little bit longer and kind of making it more habitual, so that it kind of has its own momentum in their lifestyle, and then they don't have to rely on willpower necessarily to do it. So you make little changes, one thing at a time, and then slowly health improves if you're able to maintain that. So
that sounds all wonderful and like something we all need a little bit of. So are there specialties for you that you really enjoy?
My main specialty is pain and sports medicine.
Okay.
That's one that kind of found me, I think, because of the body work that I do, clinical body work. I was well positioned to treat those kind of things. I get good results. And that includes everything from sports injuries to plantar fasciitis, chronic back pain, chronic neck pain, nerve impingements, all that sort of thing. So that's my main specialty. I'm also interested in lung conditions, respiratory rehabilitation, and then digestive issues as well. So.
That's awesome. Well, it all works together. We know that. So tell me a little bit about your philosophy as a clinician.
My main goal or philosophy as a clinician is to get my patients relief as quickly as possible. That's what they're coming in for. So one of the most important things is getting the diagnosis correct. If you don't have a correct diagnosis, you can't get quick results. One of the things that I'll always do with people is just let the patient tell their story. When I was doing my master's in Chinese medicine, one of my instructors said, I'll paraphrase, something like, if you just let your patients talk and tell their story, they'll give you the diagnosis. And that really spoke to me, and I carried that into my clinical practice, and it served me well. I think 9 times out of 10, if I just let the patient say what they need to say about what's going on with them and listen carefully, at some point they'll say something, usually just one small sentence, and it gets to the heart of their issue. And once I have that little nugget, then the diagnosis becomes easy.
It's taking that time too with them, which is
correct.
Very smart.
And they so rarely get that from their doctor and other therapists. So I try to give them that space. The other thing that I'll do is take a multi-pronged approach to treatment. So if you can try to tackle their issue from multiple angles, you're more likely to get quick results. So sometimes that's just using multiple modalities in the same session. So I'll do acupuncture with the clinical body work with people, and some cupping in addition. Or I'll do an acupuncture treatment, but I'll incorporate some breathing exercises with them and give them an herbal formula, right? So I'm coming at it from multiple angles that way. And then a lot of times I'll incorporate the health coaching part of it too into treatment. So they'll have their whatever modality they want, acupuncture or body work, but then I'll give them, maybe some corrective exercises that they can do at home, or counsel them on some kind of, maybe some way that they can tweak a daily activity that's contributing to their symptoms. So I'll approach it that way. And then the third thing that I try to do with people is establish a good referral network with other healthcare providers. My whole years in practice, all my 14, 15 years in practice now, I've been working in high volume clinics with other healthcare providers, and I've had good collaborative work relationships with them and been able to see how they work. And sometimes they have their own connections outside of the clinic too. So I've always had kind of a good network of other healthcare providers to refer out to when I feel like if a patient's just not a good fit for me, or maybe my services are just kind of part of their health journey, right? Mm-hmm. And they finish with me, and then it's time to move on to something else. So I have somebody that I can rely on, that I trust to take them on the rest of that journey. And that's very beneficial for my patients and for their patients that they refer to me. So those are the three strategies that I usually use to get patients quick results.
That's awesome. What sets you apart from other providers in your field? And why do we want to try alternative medicine? Let's put those two together, because they kind of go together.
I would say one of the things that sets me apart is that combination of doing acupuncture with the clinical body work. I don't know a lot of other acupuncturists. I mean, most acupuncturists are familiar at least with basic, the fundamentals of something like Tui Na. But I don't know a whole lot that incorporate techniques from a wide range of body work or manual therapy systems the way that I do in treatment. So that's one thing that probably sets me apart. Traditional Chinese medicine is, it's a holistic form of medicine. It's not that it's for everyone necessarily, but it does have its own unique strengths that I think a lot of patients can benefit from. And that's why I liked incorporating it in with other forms of therapy like physical therapy and chiropractic therapy and all that kind of thing. I think it's a nice complement to a lot of other healthcare systems that people can employ. So.
Well, and I think that's very smart, because I do think combining a lot of different modality will get at the heart of a patient's problem. So it's not one clear path.
Yes.
And so someone like you who takes a holistic approach and really takes that time to listen, it's so important. So I so appreciate you stopping by, Greg, and telling us a little bit about what you do and how you do it. I think it's going to really benefit people. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more Business Connection. Stay tuned.